morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio. So today, we're going to be taking a look at some new Gigantamax Pokemon. Now, of course, Gigantamax is one of the new things in Pokemon Sword and Shield. Dynamax, oh, they're a bit bigger. Gigantamax, they actually take on a whole new form. And 3 of them can only actually be obtained in specific ways. So let's start off, and weirdly enough, right, we'd only seen 3 before now. We'd seen Dreadnought, Corviknight, and Alchemy. But now we can add in 5 more, and they're all redone versions of Gen 1 Kanto Pokemon. Starting off with Gigantamax Pikachu. He's so big. Now, we're not told the weight, but we are told that he is 68 feet tall. Although he's only 1 inch away from being 69 feet tall. That's ridiculous. Now, the ability here is static, which, according to the lovely Cerebi.net, means that if you use an attack which makes contact against it, there is a 30% chance that it takes paralysis, which is quite good. Now, its tail stores electricity and is super powerful. All the electricity it generates in the sacs in its cheeks are stored in its tail. In battle, it will strike opponents with its tail and send a jolt of electricity through them as great as any lightning strike. And it can generate far more energy than before. It's become so powerful that now it can produce enough electricity to rival a power plant. However, using it to help power people's homes seems difficult, as Pikachu can only remain Gigantamaxed for a short time. Also, while we're here, right, it's Fat Pikachu. Back in the early days of the Pokemon universe, brand, whatever it is, Pikachu was not as svelte as he is nowadays. Pikachu was often portrayed as a bit chunkier. Fat Pikachu's back, and I am delighted. Now, he's also bringing with him a new GMAX move, they all do. It is GMAX Volt Crash, and it turns any electric move into GMAX Volt Crash, which deals damage and also paralyzes all opponents. Not just some, all opponents. It's very cool. But of course, we need to have Charizard, don't we? Be weird if we didn't have a Charizard. Of course he's going to have it. Once again, we're not given the weight. Apparently, it would be rude to ask, but he's 91 foot 10 tall, which is just utterly ridiculous. He's also like proper job on fire, to the point where his wings appear to have actually turned into actual fire. Now, the ability here is Blaze, which powers up fire-type moves when the HP is 1/3 of its maximum. Then fire-type moves are increased in power by 50%. It has a blazing fire inside its body. The flames inside its body have become stronger, and now fire erupts from its mouth and horns in addition to its tail. It seems that the strength of the flames increases when Charizard roars. And its flaming wings will sear any opponent. Charizard's flames have become enhanced with Gigantamax power and now form wings on its back. The wings are hotter than magma, and Charizard can fire them off to scorch his opponents. How does it fly when its wings are... I don't know. Fires them off anyway. And of course, we do have a Gigantamax GMAX move here, Wildfire. Fire-type moves become GMAX Wildfire, and it deals damage to an opponent, but it also continues to deal damage to any Pokemon that is not a fire type for 4 more turns. I mean, getting residual damage every turn, that seems pretty gosh darn good to me, but what do I know? Now, if we've got Pikachu and we've got Charizard, we also need ourselves a Gigantamax Eevee, and we're absolutely getting one. It is 59 feet tall, which is kind of nothing when you compare it to Charizard, and it has 2 possible abilities, Runaway and Adaptability. Now, Runaway guarantees escape from a wild encounter with a Pokemon. Adaptability powers up moves of the same type as the Pokemon, so that 1.5 same type attack bonus you would usually get turns into a 2 times. So instead of normal moves being 1.5 times as powerful, they are in fact twice as powerful. Cool. Now, it's gained a bunch of fur, and apparently its luscious fur will enamor its opponents. The fur around its neck has become extra fluffy and luxurious thanks to Gigantamax power. Any opponent caught in this fur becomes enamored with Eevee and loses the will to fight. And it has truly overwhelming playfulness. What a phrase. Gigantamaxing has caused Eevee to become more rambunctious than ever, and it will attempt to play with any opponent. Okay, I adore Gigantamax Eevee. That sounds adorable. However, it often ends up crushing its opponent due to its massive size. And just in case you weren't enamored enough with Gigantamax Eevee yet, its GMAX move is GMAX Cuddle, which deals a bunch of damage, and any opponent of the opposite gender will become infatuated. I'm already infatuated. Now, a quick side note about Gigantamax Eevee and Gigantamax Pikachu. You actually get these using play data from Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. So if you've played Let's Go Pikachu, then you will get Gigantamax Pikachu, and if you've played Let's Go Eevee, you will get Gigantamax Eevee. Speaking of ones that you get in a different way, Gigantamax Meowth. Now, as some people have pointed out, this is Longcat. This is legitimately just Longcat. Does this mean that the Gigantamax theme for Meowth has been based on an internet meme? I honestly don't know, but it's starting to look a little bit like it may have. I'll let you decide. It becomes 108 foot tall, which is absolutely ridiculous. That is by far the tallest one we've seen, at least in this video. And it's got a couple of different abilities, the first of which is Pickup, which is it has a 10% chance of finding and holding an item after battle, as long as it's not already holding an item. The other option here is Technician, whereby moves of a base power of 60 or less are boosted by 50%. So they ain't quite so weak. And in terms of this Meowth, it's got an elongated body and a giant shiny coin. Gigantamaxing has caused Meowth's body to stretch to astounding lengths, and the coin on its head has also become massive. The giant coin can emit a torrent of Gigantamax power, filling the surrounding area with a golden, powerful gleam. And it can cause tremendous damage when it sharpens its claws. Meowth loves shiny objects, and when it sees skyscrapers lined with glass, it won't be able to resist the urge to sharpen its claws on them. This behaviour can cause considerable damage, such as wearing down the exterior walls and breaking windows. And of course, we need a GMAX move. We're not disappointed. We've got GMAX Gold Rush. Normal type attacks used by Gigantamax Meowth will change to GMAX Gold Rush. It deals damage to opponents, but it also scatters coins all over the area, giving you a, quote, considerable in-game cash bonus after the battle. Personally, I'd love an outside-the-game cash bonus, but I think that might be little more than wishful thinking. Now, if you want to get Gigantamax Meowth, you've got to be quick on the ball. You can get it via the internet using Mystery Gift in-game, but only for the first 2 months. If you buy the game and go onto Mystery Gift before January the 15th, you will get yourself Gigantamax Meowth. If you don't buy the game and go and do this in the first 2 months, no Gigantamax Meowth for you. And then finally, we've got Gigantamax Butterfree. Cool. It is a bug flying type. It is 55 feet 9 inches tall. And the ability here is Compound Eyes, which raises a Pokemon's accuracy by 30%. Now, its scales release a blinding light. Its most notable feature is its blinding wings, which have grown to gigantic proportions. The light of its wings come from their scales, which can inflict paralysis, poisoning, or sleep on its opponents, and these scales are Butterfree's most effective weapons. Its massive wings can generate tremendous winds. Butterfree's vast wings can stir up a wind strong enough to lift a 10-ton truck just by flapping. This wind also scatters poisonous scales around the area, so simply being near this Pokemon is very dangerous. And as all the others have had a GMAX move, we'd better talk about the one for this as well. Befuddle. Bug-type attacks used by Gigantamax Butterfree will change to GMAX Befuddle, which obviously deals damage, but it then scatters scales around, which causes an opponent to become poisoned, paralysed, or asleep, although we've not actually, as far as I'm aware at least, been given any information as to what that actually means in terms of which one are they affected by. Is it completely random? My guess would be yes, but we've not actually been told. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen, 5 new Gigantamax Pokemon, and if that's not worth doing a fun little video about, I'm not entirely sure what is. But I'd like to know what you think about all these Gigantamax Pokemon, so let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassyPlays, where we talk about a whole bunch of games that don't even have any Pokemon in. But by far the most important thing is always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.